Good morning. This morning we're going to talk about load stability. On forklifts particularly, forklifts and other powered industrial vehicles are the mainstay of moving materials in our industry. We do a lot with forklifts, and their safe operation is key, which is why the standards for training and for the evaluation of drivers can be so stringent. Second to operational safety, load stability is probably the next most important factor to ensure the safe moving of materials with this piece of equipment. If the load is not secured on the forklift itself with proper balancing placement and security, accidents are really just waiting to happen. I am going to give you an example of that. In Brooklyn, New York, there was a construction worker. He was crushed to death between a flatbed and a forklift in the process of being involved in a very, very regular type of operation that we would typically perform very often on a job site. The forklift was raising up a payload of scaffolding frames on this site, and it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The pipes shifted. They caused the forklift to tip to the side, and that pinned this construction worker against the truck. According to one witness, he was completely passed out, and it was an extremely bad situation immediately. As far as this witness was concerned, this man was done immediately. First responders pulled the forklift upright, and they rushed the construction worker to a local hospital. He died shortly thereafter. Prior to moving or lifting a load, to ensure that the load is secure on the industrial vehicle, let's look for some of these particular things. I'm going to give you some tips, just a quick list, things to go through in your mind. Check the loads carefully before moving them for stability and for damage. It's important to ensure that the load is tilted back with the fork sitting low while you're transporting the load in order to increase the truck's stability. Don't check for any overhead objects before you lift or stack loads, and don't lift or move loads that are not safe or stable and that you have verified are safe and stable. Make sure loads are correctly stacked and positioned across both forks, and make sure the load is evenly balanced across both forks as well. And make sure the heavier part of an unbalanced object is toward the cockpit of the vehicle. Move that portion of it closer to the mast or the headache rack, so that you can be sure that it will ride safely. Then stack the load on a pallet or a skid safely and correctly. Don't just throw it on top and hope for the best. Use securing measures such as ropes or straps, binders, if that's required. And then place the load all the way in the forks prior to moving it or lifting it. So these are all things that are useful tips, things to bear in mind. We want you to be able to successfully move loads around the job site. We do use forklifts all the time. So keep these things in mind and drive your forklift safely for your own benefit and for the benefit of everyone else around you. Thank you for your time. We'll talk to you again, all being well.